Hi, this is a review, a reflection on the review. I was being reviewed by my peer. My peer is very experienced, a lot of years behind her. She's very, I'd personally say, wise and clued up in regards to the relationships with young people and how to deal with that, how to process that, and how to reflect that. Okay, description. I'll be using Gibbs reflective cycle for this. The description. The review. I was asked to do review. I was verbally asked to do the review. I wasn't given a session plan. I was said, Craig, we're going to do. I wasn't asked to do a review, so I was asked to deliver the session. I said, Craig, we're going to deliver the session on goals and aspirations. Okay. And she understood that I needed to I needed to be reviewed in terms of being observed. So she suggested I deliver the session and I take it from there. In the mad scramble, I grabbed a few bits and bobs together, did a little bit of research, kind of put a quick session together and worked with what I had with the time I had, literally 5 minutes, 10 minutes. So I got that done. During the classroom, we went great. I was speaking to young people. I felt a bit nervous at first, as you would. To be honest, I was nervous throughout. But at the same time, I understood that I had something that I needed to be delivered, and I wanted to deliver it. What I had to be delivered, what I had thought of in my own mind, was something I felt worth listening to. Which I suppose is what kind of gave me that drive to keep going and teach in a sense. The young people responded very well. In the beginning there was an issue with one of the young people in regards to her listening and whatnot. But that's young people. Young people, they want to do their own thing. They want to act their own way. They want to be who they want to be. I suppose challenging that kind of empowered me in a sense as well, because it made me feel, well, I am listened to. I'm in the front of the class. I'm talking, so you listen, and that actually happened. It played out, and it felt good. That particular process didn't affect our relationship. We were perfectly fine. It's literally that understanding of tutor-teacher relationship. You automatically get into that cycle of, listen, talk, communication, give and take. But anyway, the session went very well. At times I noticed the observer there. At times I just kind of rolled with it and didn't really notice, and kind of flicking back and forth really. I felt that the young people's understanding was dependent on my ability to transfer the information from myself to them. If I felt that if they left that room without understanding how to do something that I was teaching, then I was the one at fault, not them, because at the end of the day, they're students. If there wasn't students, there'd be teachers. And the fact that they're students means that they're learning, and if they're not learning, it means that I'm doing something wrong. I'm not teaching properly. As a teacher, I should be able to understand their needs and adapt my way, my methods of approach, and kind of overcome that barrier to enable them to understand, communication. And I feel that worked well as well. What I was thinking and feeling, like I said, I was nervous. I was thinking to myself, if this young person doesn't understand, how else am I going to kind of get my point across? How else am I going to let this young person move on from this standstill? That was my fear. I think reflection in action was definitely played a part in that sense. In terms of was the experience good, and what was bad about the experience? The good thing about the experience is I've done that before. I've stood up in front of a room of young people and put a point across in order for them to understand and take something from it. It's nothing new. So a good thing for me personally was just being able to do that again, being in that position where I can actually evaluate myself and see my progress from before till now, and see, and watch and view myself, view my growth, view the growth in myself. And in terms of the bad experience, and the bad thing about the experience, I just didn't have enough time to prepare. I mean, if there was a session plan, then I could have used the session plan, I could have done it, but at the same time, the session plan wouldn't have been my own, so I would have been using a session plan that wasn't mine, and trying to deliver a session from something that I had no connection with, so even that, the fact that I didn't prepare the session myself is the bad experience in that for me personally, because I feel if I did, then I would have had a lot more time to prepare. I would have been able to put the things I wanted to put in there, kind of check it against the time that I had to see if it would all fit, and using the SMART analysis, everything would have been a lot better. What sense could I make of the situation? The review went well. I can't fault that. The young people aren't exactly known to be the best young people in the whole world. They're not exactly known to be A-star students. They're not exactly known to listen 24/7 and communicate and take information as a college student would, as a degree student would, as a master's student would. So the fact that I was in that session and I put it across, no matter how good or bad it was, is definitely a positive thing. Definitely. What else could I have done? In terms of what could I have done to improve the review process, I mean, I don't know, I suppose kind of getting young people more involved, having more activities, probably having the sessions span over a longer period of time, maybe the full day, Obviously young people do have other sessions, so maybe even starting on time. The session started late, but even that was down to the fact that the young people came in late as well. But there's a few things that I would have done differently. If the situation arose again, I think I would, let my audience know that I was going to do a session, give them information beforehand so they know what to expect, so that they can come in on time and come in to do a specific thing, having a session plan ready and working from that session plan, pre-practicing that session plan so that it is in order, it does work, it is solid, it does what it needs to do.